Was it the biggest mistake of your presidency to tell the nation over and over, if you like your insurance, you can keep your insurance?
Oh, Bill, you've got a long list of my mistakes in my presidency.
No, really, for you, wasn't that the biggest one?
This is one that I regret, and I said I regretted, in part because we put in a grandfather clause in the original law saying that, in fact, you were supposed to be able to keep it. It obviously didn't cover everybody that we needed to, and that's why we changed it so that we further grandfathered in folks, and many people who thought originally when they got that cancellation notice they couldn't keep it are now
It's in the
it.
past, but isn't that the biggest mistake?
Well, you know, Bill, as I said,
you gave your enemies a lot of fodder for it.
You were very generous in saying I look pretty good, considering I've been in the presidency for 5 years, and I think part of the reason is I try to focus not on the fumbles, but on the next play.
All right. Libya, a House Armed Services testimony. General Carter Ham, you know the general,
yes,
security in Africa.
Yeah.
He testified that on the day that the ambassador was murdered and the 3 other Americans, all right, he told Secretary Panetta it was a terrorist attack. Shortly after General Ham said that, Secretary Panetta came in to you.
Yeah.
Did he tell you, Secretary Panetta, it was a terrorist attack?
You know what he told me was that there was an attack on our compound.
He didn't use the word terror?
You know, in the heat of the moment, Bill, what folks are focused on is what's happening on the ground. Do we have eyes on it? How can we make sure our folks are secure?
But I just want to get this on the record. Did he tell you it was a terror attack?
Bill, and what I'm answering your question. What he said to me was, we've got an attack on our compound. We don't know yet. We don't know yet who's doing it. Understand by definition, Bill, when somebody is attacking our compound, that's an act of terror, which is how I characterized it the day after it happened. So the question ends up being who, in fact, was attacking us.
But it's more than that, though, because of Susan Rice.
No.
It's more than that, because Susan Rice goes out and tells the world that it was a spontaneous demonstration off a videotape, but your commanders and the Secretary of Defense know it's a terror attack.
No,
Bill, as an American, I'm just confused.
And I'm trying to explain it to you if you want to listen. The fact of the matter is that people understood at the time something very dangerous was happening, that we were focused on making sure that we did everything we could to protect them. In the aftermath, what became clear was that the security was lax, that not all the precautions that needed to be taken were taken, and both myself and Secretary Clinton and others indicated as much. But at the moment, when these things happen, Bill, on the other side of the world,
it's the fog of war.
People don't know at the very moment exactly why something like this happens. And when you look at the videotape of this whole thing unfolding, this is not some systematic, well-organized process. You see...
It was heavy weapons used, and that's the thing. Heavy weapons
Bill,
coming in.
Bill, listen, I've gone through this, and we have had multiple hearings on it. What happens is you have an attack like this taking place, and you have a mix of folks who are just troublemakers. You have folks who have an ideological agenda.
All right.
You have some who are affiliated with terrorist organizations. You have some that are not. But the main thing that all of us have to take away from this is our diplomats are serving in some very dangerous places.
But we've got
to make sure that not only have we implemented all the reforms that were recommended by the independent agency, but we also have to make sure that we understand our folks out there are in a hazardous, dangerous situation.
I think everybody understands that.
No, but actually, not everybody does, because what ends up happening is we end up creating a political agenda on something
that was my next question.
Democrats and Republicans should be unified in trying to figure out how are we going to protect people.